Hey everyone, this is Color in the Water. Jerry, I'm coming on for you. You said you wanted a live, so thank you for being willing to watch. I've gone ahead and sketched out the outline of my hummingbird, and I've started to put in some of the background color. So I'm going to see if we can get the best view available here. All right. So I'm going to see if I can zoom in. That might be as good as it gets. We have the whole paper. So I've gone ahead and started in on one of the wings. The first pass will just be the background colors. This hummingbird that I chose is feeding on a flower that's right above him, and one of the coolest parts about the picture, the photograph, is that his wings are moving so fast, the whole thing is a blur. I loved it. So I've blended out the edges of the wing right here. I really want it to be kind of fanciful, very like, I don't know, I don't want definitive edges. I want it kind of magical. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling in the color from the other wing. I'm just mixing some grays. I'm going to turn this just a little bit. As you can see, I have pencil lines on here, and I'm not concerned about that because I'm going to erase them later. So don't be afraid of having lines. You can always pull it out later. I want to use a lot of water for the first pass because I really don't want these lines to be very dark. If you're on there, guys, and you want to chit chat and tell me what you're working on. Hi Brent, thanks for joining. Thank you for watching. Having fun with it. Slowly but surely my hummingbirds have found different homes, and so I keep running out. I'm down to one, so I thought I'll go ahead and make another one. Brent, are you a painter? I'd like to hear what kind of work you do. You're an artist as well. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and fade the lines out. So for this, I just want to use mostly water. Before it dries, I want to go ahead and blend it outwards. Not too far, but I really don't want a definitive edge here at the end. So the last hummingbird to leave my house today is going to a friend of mine's grandmother. For privacy purposes, I won't name names, but she was diagnosed with cancer 2 years ago, and my friend has said that they had given her maybe, I think, 6 months, or it was a short period of time, and she is still doing really well 2 years later. It's kind of a miracle. So I thought that was kind of cool, that there was a story to that, and it was going to someone who was so tenacious and vivacious. Nice. All right, cool. Brent, get on after I'm live and post some pictures. I'd love to see your work. Post me a link to your furniture. I'll share it. I like to see what other artists are up to, and I like to check out their work. So what kind of reclaimed materials do you use? Do you use like mostly wood, or do you use metal scraps? I think that's a really cool line. Hey Lisa, thanks for coming on to watch me again. I love having you watch. Hope those beautiful kids are taking a nap for you. So a lot of these lines in here by the flowers, I'm going to erase after the first pass. Not too worried about how that affects my picture right now. These flowers up here have some orange in them, which is gorgeous. It's kind of a coral. I'm going to pop in a little bit of that as well. That's awesome. Nice. Well, if you have any special requests that you'd like to see me paint, I'll get on here one day and try it out. I know it's hard to decide on a theme when you're redoing your kids' rooms. There's just so many options. All right, I'm coming back on with kind of an orange, a goldish orange. He has this beautiful accent. This will be my second pass, but it's here under the chin. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop in a few more of those details. You know what, Lisa, there is zero rush when it comes to figuring out the decor. I took a long time to figure out what I wanted in the boys' room, and I'm glad that I took that time because I got it exactly what I wanted it to be. He's got this really pretty kind of turquoise here under his chin. I love it. And then it kind of blends to almost a periwinkle, so I'm going to put that in next. It's got just like a dash of periwinkle right here. So what I'm going to do is, on that highlighted portion of his chest, there is some white area. That's just the light shining on his feathers. So when I put that in, I'm going to leave some of those lighter values open. I'm going to leave them white. If you watch any of my other videos, you know that I stress on the fact that with watercolor, you can't really go back and reclaim the white. So you got to plan ahead for it. Hello, Anissa. What kind of nonsense have you been up to today? Something for sure. If there's anybody that doesn't rest, it's you. Hello, beautiful yourself. I'm wearing a hat again, as usual. I don't have makeup on, so you told me I was going to ditch the hats. You were wrong. All right. So down in the tail feathers, I've left a center line. That's the center of his tail feathers, and I'm just going to try to keep to that. I'm going to start tapping in some other blues. And I'm also going to blend in some of the blue that I already have so it fades out to the end of the feather. So I don't know if you can see it from here, but I'm just taking water, letting it touch the paint that I already had on there and letting it blend outwards. I'm going to start putting in a little bit of that texture for the feathers. It's going to be several passes that I'll go through and put that in. anybody's watching and has a specific question about watercolors or technique or anything like that, I am very happy to answer any of those questions. I know there was a few friends that were watching me the other day that were thinking about picking it up again, and I hope they decided to go for it. It's just a really fun medium to work with. Okay. I'm going to take the end of the feathers and I'm going to blend them downwards just a little bit. It's a little more of a faded out, mysterious look. There's nothing too complicated about it. You just take your water and you pull some of the existing color down, blend it out. Hey Teresa, thank you for joining me today. How's our beautiful state of Tennessee doing? Oh, thank you. I'm glad to have your company. Has Tennessee gotten beastly hot yet, or is it holding off for you? I'm just softening the edges up. That's just the style of the painting I want today. You don't have to do this if that's not your thing. Just because you're doing watercolor doesn't mean that you have to have soft lines and edges. It's just the look that I want for this painting. Teresa, what are you working on these days? I'm pulling in some darker grays in the wing. It's got kind of this line that bleeds upwards. It's a darker line here and it pulls out that way. I'm gonna go back in on the other side and pull a little dark in that side as well, now that it's dried. I don't know if you can tell, but as I'm doing the darker grays, a lot of times some of my blue gets kind of in there chunky, and you can see. And when it all blends together with the water, it looks really cool. I like to leave those different tones in, even if it wasn't one that I was trying to do right up front. It's nice. Yeah, it was here too. My kids made me take them to the pool, and it really wasn't too beastly, so I can't complain. It's a little breeze, and I got to relax in a chair for about, I would say, at least 12 seconds. I mean, it was wonderful. I'll take it. All right, so when you're painting, you want to kind of figure out where your shadows are and start tapping those in early on. Cornhole boards. So tell me what that is, because I'm not familiar what it is. Are you doing like a chalk paint? I'm fascinated because I want to get into that at some point. I've got furniture waiting to be done. I'd love to hear kind of what that is. Maybe when the live is done, you could post some pictures. I'd love to see. Okay. I'm almost getting to the point where I'm going to let it dry for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put a little more detail in the feathers down below, and then I'm going to have to let it dry. It's getting there. It's always interesting to see, I'm sure, just the process and how a painting looks kind of in the middle. Because sometimes when you're starting on your own projects, you look at them and you think, man, this is not at all what I had in mind. I think this is going to be absolutely horrendous. So I like to do lives of the beginnings of my project because it looks way, way, way different than the final end project. Unicorn spit. What? It's a game. Okay, sweet. I like unicorn spit because it sounds shiny and glittery and like a lot of colors, which I like. Okay, yeah, post a picture later. Cornhole is a game. I need to learn these things because that sounds fun. That sounds like a game you would play when you've had a couple beers, possibly. All right, so I have to let it dry, people. This is difficult. No, I don't. The middle is still light and it's dry now. I can put in some of the darker greens. Haha. All right, I got a baby and I got an oven beeping, so I do have to get off now. I'm gonna go ahead and come back